Hi, I'm Dennis Phillips, and welcome to Everyday Reloading and Shooting. All right, if you've been watching my YouTube channel for a while now, you know that when I'm out shooting, what I like to do is I like to compare different bullets, powders, and charge weights to see how they perform in my rifles. And when I do that, I typically shoot 10-shot groups. Sometimes I might shoot a 20-shot group if I'm just comparing two different bullets or two different powders or two different charge weights, because the more rounds you put down range, the better picture you're going to get of how that rifle, ammo, and you as a shooter are actually performing. And so when I analyze those groups, I use something called the Hornady 4DOF Balistics app, and I use their group analysis function. And it measures not just the extreme spread of the two furthest points between two shots, but it also measures something called the mean radius. And what a mean radius is, and I'll show you this picture right here. A mean radius measures the distance from your average point of impact to each shot, and then it calculates that distance and averages those, and that's your mean radius. And one of the things that you'll often hear me say is when I look at that mean radius, if it happens to be 0.30 inches, I'll say that a radius is half of a circle. And so if you double that, that gives you your average group size. And here's what I mean by that. So in this first example right here, and I'll show you a picture of this to give you a close-up, you look at this particular target, and I've done my best to draw this to scale. So this large circle drawn here represents a 1-inch circle, and these are your points of impact. So I have points of impact from the center at 0.25, 0.25. This one is 0.50. This one is 0.50. And this one is 1 inch from the point of impact. So if you take those measurements and you add those together, 1 plus 0.25 plus 0.25 plus 0.50 plus 0.50, you get a total of 2.5 inches. And then if you divide 2.5 by 5, the number of shots, that gives you an average mean radius of 0.50. And so what you look at here, now this target is similar in one respect because this also has a 0.5 average mean radius. If you look at these impacts, every one of these are on the edge of that 1-inch circle, so they're centered exactly on the outside edge of that 1-inch circle. So here we've got a 0.5 radius, 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. So you add those up, once again, you get 2.5 inches, and if you divide that by 5, then you get a mean radius of 0.50. So when I say that a 0.50 mean radius gives you an average group size of 1 inch, here's another way of looking at it. So this would be your group size, and this is a 1/2 inch radius, but it gives you an extreme spread of 1 inch. So from here to here is exactly 1 inch. So you have an extreme spread of 1 inch, but a mean radius of 0.50. On this target, you have a extreme spread of 1.5 inches because you had this round that was outside of the bullseye area, and it's 1 inch from the center of the target. So when you measure these, you get a 1.50 extreme spread. So if you're only looking at extreme spread, you're only taking into consideration 2 data points, and these other shots are being completely ignored. So measuring by mean radius allows you to take every shot into consideration, not just the 2 on the extreme spread. It takes all of these into consideration, and it gives you a mean radius. And so that's why I will say that if you've got a mean radius of 0.50, you double that, and that means you've got an average group size of 1 inch. Now, In order to verify this, I took a photograph with the Hornady Balistics app. And so you can see right here, I've put a little red X that corresponds to the average point of impact from the Hornady app. And what they do is they measure from the average point of impact, which would be here. And so in this case, when you measure with the Hornady app, this round would actually be a little bit further away from center. This would be a little further away from center, but this would be a little bit closer. This would be a little bit closer, and this would be a little bit closer. So those average out together. And if you're looking at the Hornady app, it gives you exactly the same result that I got here, a 1.5 inch extreme spread and a 0.50 mean radius. So I strongly recommend that you get the Hornady 4DOF Balistics app. It has other functions as well, but I love using the group analysis function. It costs $4.99 to download. It's a one-time fee, and then you have that app forever to use. It's not an annual subscription. You just pay one time, $4.99, and there's a link in the description below that shows how to use that app. And you can download it on your phone from your app store. Just do a search on 4DOF, that's 4DOF, or Hornady 4DOF, and you'll find that, and you can download that for $4.99. And I highly recommend that, because if you want to get the information from your groups that's going to be the most beneficial, then you don't want to just be looking at 2 measurement points. You want to be looking at all of those measurement points. All right, there you go. So if you have any thoughts, suggestions, ideas, or questions, please leave those in the comments below. I always try to interact with everybody that comments. And if you would, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.